I'm telling you, they're the team to chase.
The interesting thing, Robbie, when you talked about just the balance, whether they keep clean sheets or not, and they do well, they don't give teams really good opportunities. Like when you talk about like Manchester City, I can remember thinking, is Ederson a good goalkeeper? Well, I'm not really sure because they put him in really good areas, right? They don't allow teams really good opportunities. He has to make one or two saves. That's what this Liverpool team is. I think we can talk about their attack for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, but defensively, they just don't give you much of anything. It's a real testament to these teams at the top.
Robbie, people saying, well, they'll have a dip at some point, but maybe that dip just might be sprinkled throughout the season. You know, they've lost to Forest, they've dropped a few points elsewhere. Maybe it's a sprinkling of a dip as opposed to one big section, which then could really hurt them confidence.
And I tell you why I think you're right, Bex, because of the guy in charge on the slot, because of what he does. I saw, I think it was Andy Robertson was talking about him, says he prepares games and he makes tweaks. During the games, he makes tweaks. He talks to players after the game. You get the sense they'll lose a game, and this guy will adjust it in a certain way. It's not going to go 2, 3, 4 games before he changes it. He changes in-game and does particularly well. So there's going to be a dip. There has to be a dip. How deep that's going to be, I'm not so sure it's going to be that bad.
Main man once again today was Mo Salah.
You must be getting sick of these interviews and running out of space for these awards. Unbelievable again today. But should we start with the team? Was that a very good, very dominant?
The only thing in my mind, to be fair, is I want Liverpool to win the league, and I just want to be part of that. That's the only thing I really focus. So we just need to, again, to stay focused and humble and just work hard and just go again.
When you walked into the room, I said, oh, Mo, you're getting better. And you said, I try to. How much of what we see today comes from that? You're never satisfied. You're always hungry. You're always trying to get better.
Yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy the game. To be fair, I was like a little bit disappointed from a few chances I missed today. But in the end of the day, I came here for the result. I want the team to win. I want to do something in the game, and I'm glad I did. But I'm always hungry for more. Hopefully, next one I will score more. But yeah, the most important thing, again, team won the game.
Do you know, actually, during the match, I was reminded that last time you came here in April, like, wasn't a happy day at all. How much did the end of it wasn't, was it? How much did the end of last season fuel what we're seeing now?
It was a funny thing you said, because not a nice memory here last year, but I'm glad this one we had better one.
Ready for the contract question? I know you're not going to stand here and tell us, but are you hoping to be able to give some good news soon?
No, we are far away from that. But again, I don't want to put something in the media and people start saying stuff, but nothing really move on. But I'm focused with the team. Hopefully we win the Premier League.
Well, thank you for answering that. You're the player of the match.
He says with Liverpool, most goals in Premier League history. Look at that. He is 1 behind the great Thierry Henry, 3 behind Frank Lampard, and closing on the likes of Sergio Aguero and Andy Cole as well. And he talked about it there about missing chances and wanting to score more, Robbie, because he had himself quite an interesting day.
He had him a day, Rebecca, and right now the best forward in the Premier League by distance has this shot saved by Areola. West Ham had changed the team. Wan-Bissaka trying to play at left back, but they couldn't stop him. It didn't really matter. And eventually the goal's going to come. That's his 17th Premier League goal in the season. And the way he was going and the way Liverpool were playing, you're thinking there's got to be more. He's always got pace when he breaks through. The problem for defenders is he can go right and left. And Lee Dixon talked about it in the commentary. Either side he goes against, he comes up with a decent save. Just slightly off the radar with his finishing on this occasion, and this sort of sums it up. There you're thinking if he hit the back of the net, he could have based on what we saw.
And yet, Tim, they're far away. He says, his quote, we're far away from giving any good news. How is that possible? Pay him. Sign him up.
Well, that's if you believe him. I don't believe him. I think it's far closer than he's going to let on. It's been cagey on both sides since the start of any sort of conversations or negotiations. He will be there. I think he'll be a Liverpool player, and they'll all be happy. I do.
Let me tell you, one of the things that's coming out of this football club is it's about the team and not the individual. And that's why I think he's not saying too much about the contract. There's an on-point message that seems to come out of Liverpool. Humble is the new being put out there. Playing for the team, winning for the team. Trent Alexander-Arnold was outstanding again today. There's all the talk with Real Madrid. But Slot's not having any of that about the individual. It's about this team. And he said this team can create some new history.
But if you're Liverpool, how many years are you giving him?
Probably not as many as he wants. I think that he hasn't shown to slow down. His lifestyle suggests that he's going to stay fit and determined. But the fact of the matter is, there is proof in the pudding that as these players get older, they decline. So the club has to protect themselves. Wouldn't give them a ton of years.
How many?